Do one more step.
Yeah, one second. My check, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, my check, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, my check, all good. My check, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, my check, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, my check, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, my check. My check, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, my check, 1, 2, my check, 1, 2, probando. I never done so many mic checks in my life, but that's okay. I'm trying to do my best here, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so fine. We want to make this the best possible. My check, 1, 2.
You don't look 25 years old, man.
There you go.
I'm the football, she's the brains.
There you go.
Hey, Chief Ray. See you, brother. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Good to meet you. What's going on? I don't know. And he's hurt.
I mean, it's LA Livestream Creek Metal, so I assume they made it on.
thank y'all for being here, and also want to thank those who are gathered with us today, including Senator Perry and Representative Drew Darby, Mayor Thompson, Chief Nim Kidd, who are at the table with me. I want to thank the leaders behind me who've been working tirelessly over the past 2 or 3 weeks or so to help respond. We got a large number of first responders over here, first responders who have stepped up and literally saved lives of so many people across this entire region. I'm here today to provide an update on the recovery process in Tom Green County. Before I go into that, however, I want to make clear that we're not taking our eye off of what's going on in Kerrville at all. We continue the process of recovering bodies, of removing debris, of rebuilding, and the early process of getting people back into homes or to where they were living. I do need to share with you an updated number, 2 updated numbers. The numbers that I have of those who have lost their lives statewide in this flooding episode in the month of July is now 135. Those who have lost their lives in the Kerrville area because of the floods is now 116. And we will continue the search for everybody in every single region that was affected by these devastating floods. And while Kerrville has drawn a lot of attention, and there's reasons for it, I think it's the largest flood in the history of Texas. And more people lost their lives in Kerrville than those who lost their lives in Hurricane Harvey, just to understand the magnitude of it. But during all of that, we have been focused on what was going on in Tom Green County. And we began working with Tom Green County since at least the day before the storms hit, beginning on July the 3rd. On July the 3rd, the state deployed Texas Task Force 1 boat crews to be here and be available in the event they were needed. And it turned out they were needed. We also deployed other resources and assets to make sure that there would be the ability to respond, including a boat crew that was sent to Brady on July the 3rd, the day before the flooding took place. I issued a state disaster declaration for Tom Green County on July the 4th and requested a federal disaster declaration for Tom Green County on July the 10th. And it was granted the next day. Now, in Tom Green County, we are working with officials and working with the community to go through the many stages of the recovery process. Part of that is helping individuals in the tough challenges they're facing, whether it be mental, emotional, physical, or property or family, whatever the case may be. We have so many agencies at the Disaster Recovery Center right now that are responding to the needs of people in the Tom Green County area. Other needs that are being made at the Disaster Recovery Center are needs concerning individual assistance. That individual assistance is now available because of the major disaster declaration that was granted by the federal government, by President Trump. Also, public assistance is available for Tom Green County to rebuild the roads and other structures that the county and city are responsible for. I mentioned it at the Disaster Recovery Center. We have today, but we'll have for days on end, more than a dozen state agencies available to help address the needs of the people in this community. Another thing that we're doing is gathering information that helped us understand the way the response was undertaken here. And I got to tell you, we've not seen a better response in the state of Texas. And there are articulated reasons for that. One is there was a great deal of collaboration at all levels, from the very first minute all the way until this moment in time. The response by local officials was extraordinary. We actually, in talking to Chief Nim Kidd, we consider the way that Tom Green County, and I say the county, it obviously involves the city, your mayor, every local official at every level. We consider it to be a model for the way that communities need to respond to disasters like this. And we will talk more about that in the upcoming special session. But in talking to the officials about why they responded the way they did, they talked about being trained for events like this months in advance, being organized and then executing on what the game plan was, but also maintaining a sense of compassion for the needs of the people of this community. Most importantly, they prioritized saving lives. In any type of disaster, saving lives is the first and foremost thing that everybody should have. And that's exactly what took place here. I've heard so many stories about so many rescues that have taken place. Rescues that literally saved lives. Had it not been for those rescues, dozens of people in this community would have lost their life. And there are others that may not have lost their life, but they were still rescued, and they are now able to move forward because of the fact they were rescued. I had the chance to visit with local residents, and I wanted their input on what they were seeing and experiencing. And some words always came up. And that is that they said in San Angelo, we're one community. We are neighbor helping neighbor. And we share things with each other. And you get a sense of the moral clarity and values of the people in this region that provide a sense of resilience and continuity for such a great community. One person mentioned this is neighbor helping neighbor. Others have talked about enduring relationships, that it's those relationships that help them get through these challenging times. Going forward, the state is going to remain working with Tom Green County until the recovery is complete. I mentioned a special session. As you know, we have a special session beginning on this coming Monday. And we have two leaders with us right now that will be very involved in that special session on ensuring that not just Tom Green County, but that every county across the state is going to be evaluated, and we're going to look for strategies that we can pass laws on that will make preparation for these types of events better, make response to these types of events better, to make sure that we leave this disaster in a way that puts Texas in a better position going forward than we were before this devastating storm hit our state. I know that one thing that I also hear about that I want to just mention real quick, now that the storm has passed, the needs for housing have surfaced. And we are working at the Disaster Recovery Center on addressing those housing needs. In the meeting that we were at before coming out here, we talked about the pressing need to address housing. So it's one thing that's going to be happening at the DRC here in San Angelo. It's another thing that we will talk about in the course of the special session that's upcoming. We want to make sure that as we go into and come out of that special session, we are striving to address every need of everybody in Tom Green County before that session is over. And now, with that set up, I'm going to toss it to a senator who's going to be very involved in that special session, Senator Perry.
Thank you, Governor. And I can't say enough that you came here, and it shows that Tom Green and people in it matter. And that's not true just for Tom Green, that's true for every Texan, and I appreciate your leadership. As the governor said, I don't know that the folks of Tom Green County can appreciate what was done, that had it not been for them, there would have been more lives lost. And so we're going to start the process this session, this special session. We didn't see this coming on your first call. Unfortunately, God and Mother Nature kind of had a different path, I think, for some of this. But I am confident that we will have a few hearings and figure out where we're at, what can we do better to prevent, what can we do better for mitigation, and that people will leave there hopefully informed, educated, but most importantly, hope. You know, that's the one thing that we can't do as a legislature is put hope in the hearts of the folks that have been impacted at the most deepest levels. But the God that created the heart can. And I just hope that for those that have that certainty, that I'm thankful for that. For those that don't, I hope they run to that Creator and not from that Creator in these times that we face across the state. I have all the confidence in the world. The state is big enough, to what the governor just said, that not one single person will be left behind when it comes to what they need addressed, and we'll find a way to do it. I wish I had all those answers today, Governor. We could save some special session time. But I trust my 181 colleagues in the House and the Senate. They're engaged. This is a serious issue. We've been here before as a state on some level, and we will come out shining as Texas always does. But I can't say enough about the leadership at the local level that we're having a different conversation today, if not for their efforts, Governor. And I look forward to engaging them into that process to make sure other communities can see a success story and what it looks like. But we're ready to go to work. And I thank you for your leadership and setting this up for us so we can have something to work on.
There you go. Thank you. Now, Representative Drew Darby.
Thank you, Governor. And again, on behalf of our community, welcome to San Angelo and to the Concho Valley. Your presence here demonstrates the focus of your office and of the state organizations to help this community and this region out in this important time. And your presence is valued, and we want to publicly show you our appreciation for that. NIM Chief Kidd, with Texas Division of Emergency Management, thank you. You have been a presence here often, and that presence is very valued. Sean Baxter, your group that are here with us today are very important. The governor mentioned 12 state agencies. I bet there's a lot more state agencies are involved in the recovery here in this region. I think the governor's proclamation early on has made a difference. I know you have been working with surrounding counties, whether it be Concho County, I think Coke County just recently. Thank you for that. We've got to remember that it's not only San Angelo and Tom Green County, it's the communities and counties around us that are also impacted, and thank you for that. It is difficult when you see the tragedy that occurred in Kerrville area and the loss of life, and there are folks here in this audience that have loved ones that were impacted by that. Our congressman had two daughters that were there at that time. So, you know, this is about, we cannot bring them back. We cannot undo that. But what we can do is learn from it. And I think that is what Senator Perry and I and you, of course, are going to carry into the special session is what can we learn from it? How can we prevent it? There's going to be natural disasters to occur in the future, but how do we prevent this loss of life? And thanks to the men and women behind us and to the first responders for your bravery, for your diligence, for your hard work and dedication to the proposition of saving our community. Thank you for that. And again, thank you all for being here.
Thank you very much. Now, Mayor Thompson.
First things first, thanks for coming here and seeing us. I, as a voice of the local people here, I want you to know that from the word go the morning of the 4th, we heard from every one of y'all, all of our first responders. Everybody became a first responder. But what was very impressive along this pattern and path was the communication downhill that said, don't let government get in your way. If you need help, let us know, and whatever you need, just ask. That rolled forward for 7, 10 straight days. City, municipal, state, federal people all came lockstep together to create a response where nobody was in the way. There were no egos in the room. It was, we'll do what we need to do to get it done. We developed many private-public partnerships, especially with our nonprofits, to let them manage and execute in areas that they have expertise that maybe city, state, municipal government do not, as far as housing, volunteer management, resource control. And they did an impeccable, outstanding job. Our reaction and response was great. Our recovery is going to be how we're going to be judged. And with the flow of assets coming from, say, Kerrville, this area up here, we have the opportunity to move our recovery from months to weeks. Right. And with y'all's help and the conversations we just had, I've never been as, I would say, as excited or more confident that not only is that our goal and ideal, it's also y'all's too. It's all comes down from state level. Make this happen. Take care of your citizens. We're going to help you with housing. We're going to try to help you navigate a path. Most important thing that everybody said in there was there's lots of things that we need to figure out what those are. Senator Perry, you said let's not have false expectations on what's going to happen, but we're going to execute and try to get everything out to everybody we can as soon as we can. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, Chief Nimkid.
Thank you, Governor, and I just want to tell the working media out there, thank you for being here with us and getting this message out, because the first responders of this community absolutely saved lives. The local leadership, from the mayor, the judge, your emergency management coordinator, police and fire chief, sheriff, Texas Department of Public Safety, and the game wardens working together as one organization was an amazing feat. If the rest of the state worked like that, I would probably be out of a job. The work that was done here locally is second to none. Then I've got to thank all the volunteers that are out there. We went through houses today where Samaritan's Purse and other volunteers were out there cleaning out the houses, putting the debris in the piles that it needs to be. Very few communities in this state have pre-positioned debris contracts. This one does. They're taking it seriously. Y'all are in good hands. Disasters are going to happen, but leadership like this at the local level will make that recovery so much faster. The volunteers that are out there working right now, if you see one on the street, stop and thank them. They're here for the goodness of good and the hearts and their kindness, and they will help you recover faster than any level of government ever will. So take care of your volunteers that are out here. Glad to be here with you, Governor.
Thank you very much. I want to double down on what Chief Kidd said about the volunteers. I had the opportunity to meet with many of them today, but know all that they're doing. And some of them are volunteers with organizations that existed long before this, and some are just volunteering on their own right now. And what these volunteers are doing, both here in this county as well as Kirk County and counties in between, are changing the face of Texas. We would not be able to be where we are or make it through the recovery process the way that we are without the volume of volunteers that we have. And I'll add this. I've never seen such generosity from our fellow Texans in supporting their communities, those in need. And I got to tell you, what you are providing in monetary resources to help these individuals in these communities is going to accelerate that rebuilding process. Every donation that's coming in that I'm working on is going to make sure, is going to someone who's going to be having a home rebuilt or an RV trailer restored, whatever the case may be. We want people back in their homes as quickly as possible. And one thing that accelerates that process are the very generous donations that are coming from our fellow Texans. And with that, we'll take a few questions.
Governor Abbott, God bless you first of all, and all of the folks that have labored to support the people of Texas here. What can we do now concerning an early warning system? I heard some of that mentioned in Kerrville, now here in San Angelo. Is there a plan in place for Texas to have an early warning system in case of flooding, tornadoes, et cetera?
So, I mean, there's several things that need to be answered to that, several responses to that. One is that in some places there are early warning systems, and in some places there are not. And what we need to do, and what we are going to do in the session, is evaluate early warning systems. But we have to evaluate it, I think, through this lens. And that is that what may be needed in the Guadalupe River area could be completely different than what is needed in Tom Green County. And we need to be working with leaders and members of local communities to learn from them what is going to be best for them. I'm going to give you a very easy example. And that is, as a person who's been in Hunt, Texas, which was ground zero of where the Guadalupe River flooding took place, there is virtually no cell phone availability at any time. Cell phone warnings would have, I think they were triggered, but they largely would have been irrelevant because of the inability for people to communicate. So I'm going to add to the menu. We have to work on improving communication levels in all of these different regions. Improving communications will be a part of early warnings that we need to address. That said, I know that this senator and this representative are keenly focused on early warning systems, and we'll get something passed on it.
Governor, Sean Humphrey, Fox West, Texas, thank you for being here. Over the past few weeks, since these floods started, we've seen farmers, ranchers, rural Texans really having to handle a lot of work on their own. We've talked about the volunteer help. For some of those families, including one we spoke with yesterday, volunteers got there for the first time, even up to yesterday. So as you look forward and go into the special session, how can we look toward, just making sure even in those rural communities, those small places like Concho County, people are getting the help they need?
So every person in every county affected by these storms is a priority, large and small. And so we'll be going county to county. I talked about the people who are available right here, right now in this disaster recovery center. Those same agencies are available in every single county that is affected. We will use those agencies and more, working in collaboration both with federal and local agencies to make sure that the needs of every Texan is going to be addressed. You mentioned agriculture, and there are agricultural agencies in Texas as well as the federal government that will work to address the needs of the farmers and ranchers across our state that grow the food and provide the products that feed the nation. Yeah, go ahead.
I had put it out on Facebook, and Texas Department of Agriculture, I can't give you that link right off the top of my head, but go there, and there's about 3 or 4 different categories of disaster relief. I'll give you one that was very pertinent and relevant, was fence building. This is a privately funded bucket of money that Texas Department of Agriculture is responsible for delegating or dispersing it. And I think they're very quick about it. But I can tell you, the agriculture community, the sheep, the cattle, these guys in this area, if they've got fences and downs that came through this flood and stuff, but that is a very helpful resource. And people have, I put that out in one day and I already had 2 people tell me they were having fence building within a few days. So just tag that Department of Agriculture's resource. It's privately funded from private donations, and I don't know what's in there, but I do know that Commissioner Miller, as well as his assistant Dan Hunter, are keenly aware of trying to get those monies out. So for the agriculture perspective, that's something that's pretty clearly immediate help for the most part.
Good information. Thank you. Go ahead.
What would the housing assistance possibly look like, and would it help people get out of these possible floodplains?
So the guy who knows most about that is Chief Nim Kidd. I'll have him address it.
So thank you. Yeah, easy there, Mayor. So, yeah, we've talked about some of the flooded houses that were here and whether they were or were not in a recognized or identified 100-year floodplain. The things that you're going to see in the rebuilding process is people whose homes that have already been cleaned out, that are clear to re-permit or get back in there. That's going to happen relatively quick. There's also been several volunteers and people across the community that have offered apartment complexes and others to get people out of hotels into something a little more suitable and sustainable until their homes are rebuilt. Now, there are federal programs that do get turned on in some disasters. We have not seen all of those longer-term recovery projects programs turned on yet, but we'll continue to work with the federal government once we see the housing inventory needs to make sure that those needs are addressed as soon as possible.
Once the federal declaration was declared, how is the Small Business Administration working with businesses that were affected by the flood?
We'll have Nim fully answer that. I'll just tell you that at the DRC in San Angelo, SBA is right there. And there was no one in line. I said, you need a longer line here because people need to start signing up, but go ahead.
And a great question. Remember, the Small Business Administration, while it sounds like they're for small businesses, they also do home loans as well. So if you need a loan to get your home rebuilt or repaired, please go check out the assets and resources at the SBA.
Listen, thank y'all very much. Thank you for getting the word out, but a big thank you to all these first responders, to these leaders behind me, those getting the real results done. Thank y'all very much.